Yeesh. Good morning. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful Thursday, blessed Thursday. You know how it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Getting ourselves all set up here. You know how we do. Hope everybody had a fantastic day yesterday. And I hope you're ready to have an even better one today. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. All right. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We are just getting ourselves set. All right. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. Grab your coffee. Grab your café Bustelo, your Cuban crack. Yes, sir. Good morning. Grab the rocket fuel of your choosing, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Say hello to the people, DBL moms.
Hello to the people, DBL moms.
Hello to the. Man, she getting smart. She getting smart with me.
I got jokes.
She got jokes. She got jokes now. Wow. Yeah. All right, we're just getting ourselves set up over here. We're getting ourselves set up on the Discord. Let's make sure that. Yes, we got to get ourselves all set here. Boom. All right. Getting ourselves all set. Boom. All right. Yeah, get our announcements all up. How's everybody's day going? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. It's a beautiful Thursday morning. Beautiful Thursday morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday morning. Yeah, it's Thursday. Beautiful Thursday. Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Beautiful Thursday morning. Yeah. Sun is shining. The birds are singing. All that good stuff. The is nice and crisp. Yes, sir. All right. All right. Alrighty, there we go. Got all our stuff set up on the Discord. Let's make sure we got our stuff set up on the YouTubes. Yes, the YouTubes. Yes. Yes. Alright. Get our announcements out on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. Get that out. Ready to go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good. And, oh, 1 second. There we go. Alright, that should be good. Let's make sure that we make a post on YouTube. Boom. There we are. Are we live on the YouTubes? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alright.
Yes.
We live on the Twitter. The Twitter. The Tweeter. The Tweeter. Yes, the Tweeter. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. go. We live on the Twitch. Yes, we are. Live on the TikToks. Sure, we're live on the Twitter. Yes, we are. On the X.com, aka Twitter. Yes, sir. Alright, get ourselves set. Make sure we're live on TikTok. There we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's make sure we got ourselves set here. Get ourselves set on Facebook. Facebook. There we go. All right. All right. There we are. We're all set, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Okay.
Hey,
Time to do this intro.
do the intro.
What's up, guys? It's Double Nicks, and welcome to another episode of Microcap Mornings. I am your host with the most. They call me DBL Nicks in the house, aka the Rainmaker. And I'm here with my lovely co-host. She is the Serengeti specialist with the bushy tail, hiding in the tall weeds and the tall trees. Swinging around doing them high knees and swimming around in them low seas, all that good stuff.
I must be tired every day.
Nah. You do good. Swimming around. I don't know of anything that rhymes with that pertains to the air though.
You gotta work on that.
Yeah, I gotta figure that one out, cause
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be kind of cool. Yeah, because I want to. She covers the she covers the ground, she covers under the ground, and she covers the water.
Yeah.
She covers all that.
All that.
She got it all. She got it held down.
Yes.
Yes.
Crazy stuff.
Yes, crazy work. Yes, indeed. We call her DVL Moms.
Hey.
Yeah. Yes, we call her DVL Moms. Yes.
Yes.
Good morning, DVL Moms. Good morning.
How are y'all?
Yes. We call her DVL Moms. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have our baggers today. So, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share. Because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, you can check out our 4-day trial for our indelible patrons for $1.99. Link to join us in the description down below, so be sure to check that out, as well as the pinned comment section. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. Today, we picked out AGMH before it ran 144%. 144% right here. Then, we called a couple of runners. CUTR, 66%. GV, 82%. KITT, 33%, iLag 31%, SCNX 44%, and PSTV 80%. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. All right, so that's what we got going on. All right, and we, like I said, we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We get that, the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks. I tell you.
Yes.
They get that filet mignon money.
Your money.
Yeah.
The king crab money.
That king crab money.
Yes.
Yes, sir. That lobster money.
The lobster money.
Right, the lobster bisque money.
Gotta get that lobster
I don't know
money.
I don't know what lobster bisque even is, but they get that lobster bisque money. Sounds pricey.
Awesome thick lobster soup.
Is it like clam chowder?
It's a tomato-based thick lobster soup.
It's the lobster tomato soup.
Yeah, it comes with chunks of lobster in it. It's
Oh,
the best start.
I'll try that.
A little bit in there. A little bit. Just a little bit in there.
Might have that. You know what? I'm gonna try that this
Sherry
weekend.
on top. Real good.
Yeah, I'll try that this weekend. I'll tell you what.
love that.
Anyways, but you get the point. Get that filet mignon money. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's get started with some stonks. All right. So let's see what we got here. SCNX seems to have been coming in as of late. So we're gonna check out SCNX. SCNX. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, yeah. Stretch right there. SCNX.
Yes.
Alrighty. Let's see what we got going on. SCNX doesn't look like it had much volume over here. Started picking up a bit more over here. It's still below the VWAP, however. It's not overbought, not oversold. Up 31%. They're known as Scienture Holdings, Inc. All right, let's scroll down. Let's see what they got going on there. All right, so their float is 4.31 million. Volume is 4.51 million. So the volume is a bit higher than the float, which I like. I like that. The float is relatively reasonable, and they have some news. Scienture is to commercially launch something called Resinopy, which is a life-saving opioid overdose emergency treatment, through a collaboration with Candiva Drug Delivery LP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Came out this morning.
Yeah, that came out this morning.
Yeah.
That came out this morning. I'll tell you what. Over you. Hey, look, if it treats opioid overdoses, good.
It's good stuff.
That's good. That's good. That's very good stuff. Very good stuff. We'll see what happens with it. We'll see what happens with it. Right now, it's up 32%, below the VWAP. However, it is not overbought, not oversold. The volume is a bit higher than the float, so that's good. We actually got medicine news. Yeah, FGHL. FGHL says, wow, actually medicine news. Yeah, actual medicine news. Crazy. I know. It's nuts. Apparently they got that. And
today.
you know what? That's fine by me. That's good.
Yeah.
Medicine news is good. All right. Right now, this stock had a bit of a slight uptrend over here. It did have a slight uptrend over here off of these indecisive candles over here due to lack of volume. However, the volume seems to be picking up a little bit. This stock was a bit overbought earlier this morning. However, it's not overbought or oversold now. So what they got going on over here is now they got to deal with they got a bit of a descending wedge over there. Let's get this out of here. Get this all the way up over here. So you got a bit of a, not a descending wedge. You got a bit of more of a pennant than a descending wedge right now. So there we go. It's So we'll see what happens there. But we'll see what goes on. It has to break this pennant and definitely has to break over here for it to be schmexy to me. Otherwise, it's basically not something I'd really check out. Other than that, has to break through that pennant and has to break these support and resistance lines. It's got resistance over here at 362. Got some more resistance over here at 349. Got some more resistance over here at 322. More over here at 308. Another one over here at $3 even. And then it's got some support lines, 285, 275. And then after that, you got some at 252. And then you got some at 220 over here. Yeah. So that's what you got going on. So there we go. And yeah, that's pretty much it over there. So you got a pennant that needs to be broken over here. And then you got some resistance over here at $2.99. That's what the first line that it's got to break, around $3. And then you got more at 308, 323, 350, and then you got some over here at 362. Boom, right there. And then after that, you also have this VWAP that it also has to break through, because right now it's below the VWAP. Not very schmexy, ladies and gentlemen. Not very schmexy at this point. Let's see what goes on. LAES. Let's check it out. LAES. All right. Yeah, LAES. LAES has been moving a little bit, ladies and gents. Let's zoom in the room. All right. Now, LAES has been very, very, very up and down. There's been a bit of barcoding too. So I could tell right off the bat, this stock probably doesn't have much volume. Let's check it out over here. A little bit of barcoding. So the volume is 1.26 million. Float is 15 million. Float is pretty high. So like I said, low volume. However, this stock, it did have a nice uptrend. However, again, low volume, very high float. Not a big fan of a 15 million float. It's pretty heavy. That means that chances are good the price action is probably going to be either really, really slow, or it's going to be pop and droppy. All right. Plus, it is a. I'm pretty sure it's a China. Is this a China stock? Let me
Yes,
see.
it
Let me
is.
see if it's a China stock.
Mhm.
Let me see if this is a China stock. Because China stocks, again, China stocks have a tendency, normally, not all the time, but they have a tendency of just popping and dropping. And that's pretty much it. That's what they do. So let's see over here. Where is that? Let's
That's a
see.
good
Let's see.
question.
Let's see. Let's see. Not a very interesting stock that I'd look into, honestly. This stock. Let's see over here.
Find out.
Let's see. Let's see. This
I'm gonna
looks
say Switzerland.
nah.
It's
Cointrin,
strange.
Cointrin is in okay. Apparently Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Hey, it'd be like that.
I know, it's strange you had the other thing on.
Yep.
It was very deceptive
Yep.
there.
Looks like it's Switzerland. So this apparently is Swiss stock,
Yes.
allegedly. All right. So we'll see what happens with it. It doesn't have any news at all. Again, float is pretty high at 15.23 million. Volume is 1.27 million. So we got that going on.
Right.
Let's zoom in the room over here. Also, this stock earlier this morning was a bit oversold on the RSI. So we'll see what goes on there. As far as the float goes, man, too high. Me personally, I'm more of a 10 million float at most. Me personally, I like a float that's at most maybe 10 million. Even then, that's a little high. So that's just me personally. This is not stock advice, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is not stock or financial advice. This is just a show. Da 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 da.
Hey!
Always do your own due diligence before purchasing anything in the stock market at all whatsoever. This is just a show. So
It's a show.
let's get ourselves all set up here. Let's get the graffiti pencil activated. Boom. All the way up here. Bop. Get something down here. Had a bit of a descending wedge here. Looks like it tried to curl up a little bit more. Boom. There we go. And looks like it is above the VWAP right now, so that is excellent news. That is excellent news for them. It looks like it's trying to curl up. It's a bit of a choppy uptrend, a little bit of a choppy uptrend. It does have a bit of a resistance over here, so let's go set up some support and resistance lines. So you got resistance all the way up here at 276, more resistance over here at 272. FGHL says 5 million below is what's right for me. Yeah, me too normally, but at highest it'll be 10 million. Even then, that's crazy high for me. Not something I personally do, but that's at highest what I've done. You know what I mean? Me personally, but not something I would normally do, in my own humble opinion. I'm more of a 5 million kind of guy, so I agree with you there, FGHL. I agree with you there. Let's see. More money more over here at 264. You got a resistance line which it just broke through. You got another support line over here at 262. Over here, 261. Down here, 258, 256, and then you got some more over here at 251, 247, 246, 248, 249 over here, and 250. So that's what we got going on. There's a lot of support and resistance here. Right now, it's holding at the support line at 261, broke through the resistance line at 262, broke through 264, and it looks like it's trying to break through 266, but it's forming a bit of a top tail. I'm not a big top tail guy. I'm more of a bottom tail guy, but it looks like it's trying to tap that bottom like its name was Akon. So let's see what happens with it. We'll see what happens with it. But right now, I like it so far. I like it so far a little bit. But again, float's pretty high for me. The float's pretty high to me. It's also no news. Volume is pretty low. Not a big fan of that. Right now, it's got a good uptrend, but we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. I don't trust it. I don't really trust it much. But it's all right. It's meh. We'll see what happens with it. Right now, it's got a hold at the support line, the new support line over here at 264, break through 266, and then try to break through 270, then 272, and then 276 for it to be schmexy. That's pretty much it. That's what we got going on. So, that's pretty much it. Boom. And yeah, let's see what we got going on over here.
Yep.
PRTH. That's what we got going on. PRTH. Oh, PRTH. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see what we got going on. Let's zoom in the room over here. Okay. Boom. All right. So let's see what we got going on. So PRTH, I can tell right off the bat, not a lot of volume. I could already tell just by looking at it. It doesn't have much volume. The float is probably also very high. So let's take a look at the float and volume. Float is 12.96 million. Again, pretty heavy in my opinion. Pretty heavy. Volume is 74.06 thousand. Like I said, very low on the volume, high on the float. Not something I like personally. Not something I'm a big fan of. But that's pretty much what we got going on over here. So let's see. We got a couple of bits of news though for PRTH, also known as Priority Technology Holdings Inc. It's $9.26. The annual report for Section 13 or 15D Form 10K, that means that there's insider buying going on. Their Priority Technology non-GAAP EPS of 18 cents beats by 9 cents. Revenue of $227.3 million beats by 31.31 million cents. 0.31 million, excuse me. My bad. And then you got over here more insider buying news. So that's what they got going on. Let's hope that the news does something for it, but right now it's not looking too schmexy to me. I'll give it some support and resistance lines, but right now it's man, eh.
Right.
All right, let's see over here. You got resistance over here at 1017, 9.5, 946. Got more at 930, 927. That's more of a support line if anything. 915, 899, all the way down here at 799, and then 759 all the way over here. That's pretty much what we got. So it's got some support and some resistance over here. It's got to hold that support line at 915, break through the 925, 930, 946, and 950 lines, and then it has to break through this line all the way here at 1018. But right now, not very schmexy to me because, again, not a lot of volume and a heavy float. So that's what we got going on. Let's see what we got going on over here. Let's check out GV. Let's check that one out. We called GV earlier this morning prior to its 82% run. So let's see what goes on with that one right now. It's currently up 76%, but we called it earlier this morning prior to its 82% run. So let's see what we got going on here. All right, so we got $7.15. That's the resistance over here. Deadly volume on GV. It did have some deadly volume earlier. Let's see what it's got right now. Well, the float is relatively reasonable. It's 1.74 million, and the volume is 41.11 million. So that's what they got going on. It's approximately 41 times that of the float, which I like. The volume is diabolical on this one. I love it. The volume is great on GV. So that's what they got going on so far. GV has been moving quite a bit. I'm pretty sure it moved quite a bit yesterday as well. Let me check over here. Let me check the records, because we did something on it. We did something on it yesterday as well. We were on that. Let's see. We called it.
I think it was late in the day. Let's take a look.
Well, we called it. We called it a couple times today and yesterday. We called it earlier this morning at 3:03 a.m. We called it yesterday as well, prior to its 177% run, I believe.
No,
Actually, no, it hit a high of 240. Excuse me.
That's right.
We called it prior to its run up 240%.
Right.
So we called it yesterday at. Let me go all the way back here because we called it a while ago. Ooh, hold on. Let's see what we got.
Called it early in the morning today.
Yeah, we called it yesterday at 8:01 a.m. when it was only 40%. Then it shot up to 240% yesterday. We called it this morning at around 3:03, and then it shot up once again to 82%. So we'll see what happens with this one. We'll see what happens with it. It came out with some news yesterday that Visionary's $1 billion leap could drive Pegasus to the NEV future. That came out yesterday. They also had news that they obtained a financing consent letter from a $1 billion international consortium and went all out to build an industrial ecosystem for new energy vehicles. This was news that came out yesterday for these guys, and it did them justice, because I mean, hey, they ran up 240%, ladies and gentlemen. They ran up 240%. Let's get some movement up here. Let's get some resistance lines over here. $7.15. Got another one over here at $6.86. Then you got another one over here, $6.72. Then you got some support lines over here, $6.27, $6.23, $6.25. Got something all the way down here, $5.07. Then another one over here, $4.51. Then another one down here at $4.35. So that's what we got going on right now. It just broke through the first resistance line over here at $6.71. It's got to hold that and break through $6.87 to continue being schmexy. It had a bit of an uptrend over here. Let's get the graffiti pencil activated. Boom. All right. Had a bit of a movement up. Nice. And then had formed a bit of a descending wedge over here. A little bit of a descending wedge. So now it looks like it's trying to move upward. A bit choppy on the uptrend, but it looks like it's trying to move upward. It is above the VWAP, not overbought, not oversold on the RSI. It was a bit overbought earlier, so that's something I'd keep an eye on, but it's not overbought or oversold on the RSI as of now. The volume is excellent on this stock. Right now it's 42.72 million, and the float on this stock is 1.74 million. So the float is pretty low, pretty good, and the volume is excellent for this stock. So we'll see what happens with it. It had a nice run up 82%, so we'll see what goes on with it. We'll see what happens with it. Let's check out something else. Let's check out FRGT. FRGT, let's see. Judging by this stock, if I remember the stock correctly, yep, it was very choppy. So we'll see what goes on here. Right now, GV, by the way, went up 84% while I wasn't looking, of course. Of course, because that's what it does. Let's go over here. Yep, FRGT can tell you right off the bat just by looking at this chart. Not a lot of volume. I could already see it. Let's take a look. See if I'm right. I could be wrong. Let's take a look. Yep, float is pretty low actually at 96,000 and change. And the volume is 43.75 thousand. So the volume's lower than the float. The float is pretty low. Normally when a float like that's pretty low, in my opinion, it tends to get the price a little more volatile with the price action, so we'll see what happens with it. Let's get some graffiti pencil out here. Let's get the support and resistance line. So you got resistance over here at 185, another one at 180. You got another one all the way down here at 117. Got one down here at 160. You got one over here at 157. And then you got some over here at 165 and 170. Then you got some all the way up here at 177, and it looks like it's forming an indecisive candle over here at 180. Could potentially, maybe, possibly, if it does get some volume, break that 180 line over there, possibly, maybe, and then after that, it has to break that 185 for it to be schmexy to me. But it looks like it's falling back to the support line. So again, very low float, so it's probably going to be very volatile with the price action movement, and the volume is very low, so not schmexy to me. We'll see what goes on. Let's check out another stock over here. Let's check out GV, because GV decided to move up when I wasn't looking. Let's check on GV. So GV decided to move up again and then proceeded to drop back down. So we'll see what goes on with it. Let's zoom in the room. It's playing a nice little game of hide and go seek with me. I don't know why. It just does that. But I'm a little concerned about this right here. Let me get the graffiti pencil activated. Potential double top over here. I'm a bit concerned about that. It needs to break this little line over here to continue being schmexy. I'm a little bit concerned about that double top over there. A little bit concerned about it. We'll see what happens with it. It did hit that high of $7.15 earlier, but we got to see what goes on with it. It hit a nice high of 84%. So let's see what goes on. Right now, it's a bit more consolidated than I'd like to see it. Let me check that float and volume. The float and volume should still be crazy. The volume should be 44. Yep, 44 million over here. Float is 1.74 million. So again, reasonable on the float. A lot of volume. We'll see what goes on with this stunk. It did have a nice run up, 84%. So could potentially end up being a bagger down the line. Something that could happen right now. Might be experiencing a bit of a pullback I don't know. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Could potentially be a bagger. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Because I see stonks like this. They go down, and then all of a sudden you turn away. All of a sudden they go whoop, up.
Really?
Yeah.
They do that
Sometimes.
all the time.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
But normally when I'm not looking,
They're
no,
sneaky.
they're very sneaky. They're sneaky like that.
Sneaky stocks.
Yeah, sneaky stonks. That's what
Yep.
we got going on. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see.
Yeah, this one,
Let's check out AGMH because AGMH did have some movement earlier.
Yes, it did.
AGMH. So we'll see what happens. It did have some movement that it was experiencing earlier. Let's zoom in the room. Bop, right here. All right, let's get rid of this line over here. Let's get some support and resistance lines up here. All right, so you got 25 cents at a resistance point over here. Boom. Then you got another one over here, 24. You got 22. Another one over here. Then you got some support lines all the way down over here at 17. Another one at 13. All right. And those are pretty much the ones we got so far. I don't see any more consistencies. Maybe one over here at 21. But that's pretty much what we got going on so far. So it's got to hold at that 17-cent line. It is below VWAP, which is something that is a little concerning to me. It's below VWAP. Not a big fan of that. I like it above the VWAP, not below the VWAP. I love it above the VWAP.
Yes.
So it's got to move above the VWAP. Right now, the VWAP is at 19 cents. And this stonk is at 18 cents. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this stonk. We shall see. We shall see. Let's check out the news on this. This actually came out with news yesterday, insider buying news. Let's check out their float and volume. Let's check it out. The float for the stonk is 18.64 million and the volume is 154.83 million. So the volume is high. It's good on that, but again, the float is pretty high as well. Granted, the volume's higher, so that's a good sign, but again, can't say I necessarily trust it at this point in time. Again, if the volume's going to be high and the float's going to be high, if the float's going to be high, then that means it's probably going to have a slower price action, at least in my opinion. This is not stock advice, ladies and gentlemen. This is just my opinion. But me personally, I think that it just is a bit slower when it has a higher float. But again, it does have 154 million volume. So we'll see what goes on. ONVO, by the way, just came out with some news. Let's check out what ONVO is doing. ONVO, let's get it over here. It's got some news over here. Organovo Holdings issued 2,967,144 additional shares through warrant exercises and at the market stock sales, raising 2.3 million in gross proceeds. Okay. So I think that means that they diluted. Ugh. ONVO. All right, let's see what they got going on over here. So ONVO has a float of 14.6 million. Volume is 247.65 thousand. Not liking that. Not liking that. Very, very low volume and a very high float. Not a big fan of that. They also had news of insider buying and the issuance of additional shares in conjunction with their warrant exercises. So not a big fan of that. Not good.
No.
Dilution. No. Not a big fan for that. Not a big fan of that. Yeah, FGHL. Not a big fan of dilution. Yeah, not a big fan of that, brother. Not a big fan in my opinion. Not something I would do again. Not stock advice. This is just my opinion. Not a big fan of that.
No.
Nah. Zoom in the room over here. We'll give it nah. Not even worth the support or resistance line. You're not even worth that. And not even worth my time. Not even my type. Nah. Let's see what we got going on. Over here. Let's see. Let's check out PSTV. PSTV had some movement earlier this morning. PSTV. We'll see what happens with this one. Boom. All right. PSTV. Let's zoom in the room. All right. Let's see what we got going on. What we got? Let's check it out. Let's remove old drawings. I mean, let's clear this drawing set over here. Yep. Let's clear it up. There we go. All right. So right now, PSTV had a nice little uptrend over here. Let's get the graffiti pencil out. Boom, right here. PSTV had a nice uptrend. Pretty choppy at some points, but it had a nice uptrend over here. Next thing you know, little bit of a descending wedge. Boom, over here. Yeah, so that's what we got going on. Let's see over here. Boom. Get that support and resistance. 67 cents is a resistance line over here. 64. Got another one over here at 61. Then you got something down here at around over here at 51 over here. And you got some more at 31. 29. Boom, that's what we got going on. So right now it fell a bit below the VWAP. Not a big fan of that. PSTV does have a bit of a descending wedge forming, a little bit. We'll see what happens though, because it could go up or down really, because it's a mix between like a descending wedge and the pennant right now. So we'll see what goes on here. It could go up, could go down. That's what we could do right now. So let's check out the news on it right now. It's up 63%. Plus Therapeutics Inc. That is the name of the Stank. That's the name of the company. They were granted a U.S. FDA orphan drug designation for rhenium or 186 Re, as well as obisbedma for the treatment of lipomeningeal metastases in patients with lung cancer.
Yes.
So basically, right now they got some FDA approved. They were granted. They were well not. They were granted a U.S. FDA orphan drug designation for something that could potentially maybe treat lung cancer, or at least a symptom of lung cancer. So we'll see what happens with this. I like the news. News is pretty good on it. They did come out with something as well yesterday that they announced a new employment inducement grant. So we'll see what they do with that. Let's scroll down over here. Let's see. The float for this stock is actually pretty reasonable. 5.76 million. The volume is actually pretty good on it at 45 million. So that's what we got going on. We got 45 million in change for the volume. Float is 5.76 million. So we'll see what happens with this one. The float and volume are reasonable. However, it is fighting to stay above that VWAP. And it was a bit overbought earlier on the RSI, but now basically not overbought or oversold on the RSI, but it did have a history of being overbought on the RSI earlier in the game. So we'll see what happens with it. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to something else. Let's check out BGLC. We'll see what happens with that one, because that one had a bit of movement. It's probably going to have a low float, though. Yep, figured. Yeah, yep. Could tell right off the bat. BGLC, low float. We'll see what happens with it right now. Let's get a price action up here. We got some resistance lines over here at 40 cents. All right, you got a support line over here at 37 cents. All right, you got another one over here at 35. Another one all the way over here at 32. And that's what we got going on so far. That's what we got going on over here. 35 too as well if you really want to. But right now it is currently smacking the top of that support line like it was a used car salesman. And it hit that. It's at 37 cents right now. It has to break through 40 for it to be schmexy to me. Right now, not a lot of volume and a pretty high float.
Yeah.
I bet you it's a pretty high float, so I'm gonna check it out right now. I bet it's gonna be pretty high float. 11.57 million. Yep, pretty high float, like I said. And the volume is gonna be low. 34.7 thousand. Yep. So because there's a lot of candles of indecisiveness, a lot of wicks here. Not a big fan. Me personally, at least, ladies and gentlemen. Me personally, not a big fan of that. Again, they had some insider buying news that came out yesterday, and they also had news that Bionexus Gene Lab Corp, that's the name of the company, announced their board approval of Ethereum treasury strategy and release of strategic white paper. That's what they have. And I'm pretty sure these guys are a Malaysian stock. I'm pretty sure they are. We'll see what happens here, but I'm pretty sure they're a Malaysian stock.
Yeah.
Again, pretty high volume, and the float is pretty low, so not schmexy to me, ladies and gentlemen. Not schmexy. Let's see what we got going on. All right, let's see here. Let's check out. Let's see.
About
Let's check out GV again. GV.
Okay.
Because GV did have a nice little run earlier. It had a nice little 84% run earlier, and it ran nicely yesterday at 240%, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we got going on. That's what we got going on. Let's zoom in this room. All right. Let's zoom. All right. Here we go. All right. Let's go get rid of this. Move this. Let's fix it up. Ooh, excuse me. Wrong graffiti pencil. Let's see what we got going on here. Bop. Right here. All right. Boom. That's what we got set up. All right. So right now, it's got a bit of a pennant over here. Could go up, could go down. Right now, it looks like it's trying to break through that pennant and hit that resistance at 671 over there. So we'll see what happens with this one. GV had some pretty good news. Again, had a nice 240% run yesterday, and then ran up 84% so far today. So we'll see what happens with it. Right now, it's forming a bit of a wick of indecisiveness. So we'll see what happens. It's got to break through that 675 mark over here. Well, actually, it's 673, but call it 675. It has to break through that resistance point here, has to break through the resistance point at 687, and then another one over here at 715. So that's what we got going on right now. It's got a bit of a consolidation, so we'll see what happens with it. Let's check the float and volume. The float should still be pretty good. The float and volume, the float is 1.74 million. Volume is 46 million, ladies and gentlemen. 46 million. So that's what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what happens. So, let's get it. Let's see what goes on with this stunk. Right now, it's up 75%.
Yep.
Needs basically a nice kick in the booty. Nice kick in the booty.
Nice little kick there.
Nice little kick in the booty for it to potentially move up. Also, PL came out with some news. Planet and Anthropic partner to use Claude's advanced AI capabilities to turn geospatial satellite imagery into actionable insights. So PL did have some news. Again, I'm gonna check that out. We'll see what happens with it with PL. Let's check out PL because that one has some news that just came out. Let's check it out. Right now, I bet you, yep, it's gonna be very, very choppy with the price action. Very choppy. Down. It's down. Not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
But they did have some news on it. That just came out. Ocean Ledger secures $900,000 to increase accuracy and decision readiness of coastal risk management. Again, very choppy on the price action. So I bet there's not a lot of volume here. I can bet. Yep. And the float is pretty high. So not liking that. Nope. Let's check out something else. Let's check out SCNX, because SCNX did have a little bit of a movement earlier. We'll see what they're doing right now. SCNX has a reasonable float and a pretty good volume. Float is 4.31 million. Volume is now 6.92 million. Again, I do enjoy when the float is actually higher than the volume. Well, actually, the volume is higher than the float, excuse me. Yeah, so that's what we got going on. We'll see here. Let's see here right now. Let's zoom in the room. Okay. So, we got movement upward over here. However, it is kind of getting stuck at this little area over here. Boom. So, we'll see what happens there. It's a bit stuck over here. So, it's got to break through this little line over here. Break through the 323, then after that the 350 mark, and then 362. That's the plan. Let's hope it does it. Let's hope it follows it. We'll see what goes down. All right. Let's see here. All right. Oop, spam. Ugh, I don't want spam. It's spammy. All right. There we go.
Yes.
Let's see what we got going on. So right now, SCNX currently a bit consolidated here. We gotta see it break through this little line over here for it to be schmexy to me, because it's forming a bit of a double top. Not a big fan of that. We want the double bottoms, or better yet,
the bottom tail.
yeah, we want the bottom tails. That's what we really want. That's what we really want, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So again, we'll see what happens with it. We'll see what happens. Let's check this out over here. Right now, it looks like it's trying to break through the line a little bit. It's trying to break through the line. A little indecisive on this candle, but again, this candle just was made. It was just made just now. So we'll see what happens with this. Let's check out SCNX, see what they got. They are a U.S. stock. Okay, understandable. and they have some good volume, good float, reasonable float. Not overbought, not oversold. Currently above the VWAP. So I like this stock so far. I'm liking it so far. We'll see what happens with it, but I think GV. I think GV could potentially move.
TV.
At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it already moved like crazy yesterday.
Yeah.
Right.
Did
It's
some
not.
nice moves today too.
Yeah, it did some nice moves today too. Ran up a nice cool 84%. So maybe. We'll see what happens. Not overbought or oversold, however, it did have some history of being overbought earlier, but as of now, not overbought or oversold. Above the VWAP, has good volume, has a reasonable float. That's pretty much what we got going on with it. So, yeah, that's what we got going on with this stunk. Let's see. Let's check out the float again. Float is 1.74 million. Volume is 46.89 million.
Right.
Volume is higher than the float. So that's what we got going on.
Right.
Right now, it's trying to hit 81% over here. Looks like it's trying to move and hit a resistance point right over here at 672. Looks like it could potentially break through that. It just has to have that extra kick in the booty. Has to have a kick in the booty over there. Yes, sir. That's what it needs to have in order for it to be schmexy to me.
Yes.
All right. Needs to break through that 682. Well, 672, excuse me. 688. And then after that, 715. Right over there.
Yep.
That needs to break through that for it to be schmexy to me. That's what it needs to do, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, that's what we got going on. Let's see. Let's zoom in the room a little bit, though. Because it is having a slight uptrend. Little tiny one over here. Boom. It's got a bit of an uptrend here off of this pennant. So, we'll see what goes on. We'll see what happens with it. Right now, it's trying to test that high. Not the high. It's trying to test this resistance point over here at 671. Again, 688. And another one over here at 715. So we got to see what goes on with this stonk. We'll see what goes on with it. We'll see what happens. Let's see. But right now it's forming a bit of a top tail. I don't like the top tails. I like the bottom tail. So we'll see what happens with it. We'll see what happens with it right now.
Yeah.
We shall check it out. We shall see.
Yeah. Yes,
All right. Let's see what else we got. What else we got going on?
That one.
Nah, that one's high. Let me get some water, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get some water. A little bit of water. A little bit of water. Ooh. That's that good stuff. All right. Yeah. All right. Looks like while I was looking away, GV did break through that resistance line over there at 672. Now it just has to hit 686. Has to hold 672, break 686 for it to be schmexy to me. That's what it's got to do. That's what it's got to do, in my opinion. That's what it's got to do. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with it. Right now, forming a bit of a top tail, it has to hold at that 670 mark. It's trying to. It's fighting to get there, but it's having a little bit of a struggle there. A little struggle. A little bit of a struggle. So, yeah, a little bit of a struggle. We'll see what goes on with it. Right now, hitting 672. Again, it's flirting with that resistance at 670. It's got to break through that. And then after that, it has to break through 686 over here for it to be schmexy to me. But right now, it looks like it's trying to. It broke through the first resistance over here. It's just got to hold that and break through the next. It's hitting 686. It's smacking that. There we go. It's above that. It's above that right now. 86%, 87%. There we go. 88%. 88% respectfully. Yes, sir. I'm just staring respectfully. That's what I'm doing right now. All right. Nice. That's what we got going on. All right. Now it has to break through that 715. That one's going to be a bit harder. But right now, currently, it's flirting with that $7 mark. It's trying to break through it. It's trying to break up. It's trying to break it up. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of a height. Come on. Let's check it out. Come on. 88%. 88%. I like where it's going. 89%. Let's see what we got. All right. So right now it's got to hold that resistance, that support at 687. Break through that 715. That's the plan. We got to see if it do it. Right. Right now, it's trying to. forming a bit of a double top here though, so it's got to break through that. It's got. There we go. There we go. Like, yep. Forming a bit of a double top, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. Has to break through that little double top line over there. That little miniature line right there at around the $7 mark. It's got to break through that for it to be schmexy to me. It's got to be schmexy to me. Prove your love to me right there. That's what it's got to do, ladies and gentlemen. So right now, it hit a nice little high of 88%. 88% so far. So we'll see what goes on with the stunk. We'll see what goes on with it. Right now, currently, bit of a double top over there. It has to hold that resistance at 687 and bounce off it, which it did. Looks like it did. It's trying to fight upward. It's fighting its way upward right now. It's fighting its way upward. Right now, it's breaking through that little line that I set up over here. I like that. I'm happy about that. Let's see what goes on here. All right? Come on. Come on. Curl up. Curl up, baby. Yeah. Come on. Keep going. Keep going. Keep driving. We'll see what goes on here. We'll see what goes on here. All right.
Again, it had news.
It did have news. Did have news yesterday. The news came out yesterday that their $1 billion leap could drive Pegasus and the NEV future. So we see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. All right. But it does have some reasonable float. Volume is pretty reasonable as well. It just has to hold at that support line over here at 687. 686, excuse me. It has to hold right there, ladies and gentlemen. It has to hold right there. So we shall see what happens here. Right now, it is still on that double top. Still on that double top energy. We'll see what happens with it.
Right.
Let's see what else we got. SUP. While we're waiting for GV to do whatever it is that it's going to do, let's check out SUP. See what they got going on. Because SUP came out with some news that Superior Industry projects that their year 25 net sales of 1.3 billion to 1.4 billion versus a 1.31 billion estimate. So that's their news so far. Again, very choppy though. Very choppy on the price action. Not liking it too much as far as that goes. Let's check this out over here. Superior GAAP EPS of minus 75 cents. Revenue of 310.3 million. So, net sales are That's what we got going on. They're projecting their year 25 net sales are going to be 1.3 to 1.4 billion versus a 1.31 billion estimate. So we'll see what happens. They did have some insider buying news that came out earlier this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and they reported a full year and fourth quarter 2024 financial results at 7 a.m. So we'll see what happens. Again, this probably is one of those high float, low volume type of deals because price action is very, very choppy.
Very choppy.
Yep, let's check it out over here. Float is 21.43 million. Volume is 2.75 thousand. So, not liking it. The news is the news. But at the end of the day, booty in terms of the actual volume. So, we'll see what goes on. Let's check on GV again. We'll check on GV again. That's gonna be the final stunk we check in on it. We'll see what happens afterwards. We'll see what happens with it. Let's see. Let's zoom in the room. Right now, GV. Yep. Broke through the two support lines. Unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunate. But, hey, it'd be like that sometimes. We'll see. Could potentially curl back up.
You never know.
Never know. You never know. But that's pretty much it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share. Because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, so be sure to check that out, as well as the pinned comment section. It's a 4-day trial for our indulgable patrons for $1.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola. Who needs a worm when you can get a filet mignon? That's all I'm saying. All right? That's what I'm saying. Who needs the worm? Ain't nobody need a worm.
Oh, yeah.
Who needs a worm when you can get a whole fish? That's all I'm saying. All right? That's pretty much what I'm saying. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen. We're just made different. And the early bird gets the cash. The moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. AGMH. We called it earlier this morning. It ran up 144%. We called a couple of baby runners as well. We called CUTR prior to its 66% run. GV prior to its 86% run. Actually, excuse me, 88% run. Might have even hit 90. I don't remember. KITT, 33%. ILAG, 31%. SCNX, 44%. And PSTV prior to its 80% run. So that's what we got going on. We are just made different, ladies and gentlemen. Just made different. So we'll see what happens over here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You can check us out on all of our other social medias. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share.
Remember to share.
Remember to share, because sharing is caring.
Sharing is
You can
caring.
find us on YouTube at Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money. You can find us on X.com, aka Twitter, where we do a lot of reviews as well as keep our eyes and analysis on the stock market. You can find us there on Twitter at Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money. You can find us on Twitch.com or Twitch TV, excuse me, at Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money. You can find us on TikTok, Tiki at DBL Nicks. At DBL NICKS, and the screen name is Coach Nick Money. Yes, sir. So that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope you have a fantastic day.
Have a great day.
Yeah. Hope you have a fantastic Thursday. Hope you have an even better Friday. And then afterwards, I hope you have a great